What makes a game studio legendary? Is it sales, scandals, innovation? Rockstar Games has had all three, sometimes all at once. From the revolutionary Grand Theft Auto 3 to the emotionally raw Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar has changed what video games can be. This is not your typical history video, I admit, but from the car chases through fictional metropolises to horseback rides across the dying frontier, Rockstar has shaped an era and has a place in history. And I definitely didn't think about making this video because of the new GTA 6 trailer. Definitely not, no. Rockstar doesn't just make games, they build worlds with cinematic gravitas. Okay, sure, some people like going on there and just blowing people up with rockets, but their stories are layered, their characters flawed and unforgettable. Whether it's Arthur Morgan's redemption or Michael DeSantis' existential crisis, they're people with motivations, contradictions, and arcs worthy of any critically acclaimed movie or television show. Rockstar's brilliance is in fusing narrative and gameplay. You don't just watch the story unfold, you live it. From satirizing American consumerism to skewering politics, media, and tech culture, Rockstar has been unafraid to push buttons. They're controversial but also deeply intelligent with their satire. Their games are often read not just as entertainment, but as biting critiques of modern life. From the neon sprawl of Vice City to the dusty plains of New Hanover, Rockstar's environments are more than just maps, they're ecosystems. Each pedestrian has a life cycle, each street corner has its lore. No other developer has managed to create open worlds that feel this immersive, reactive, and alive. Rockstar's philosophy has always been detail first, spectacle later. For example, in Red Dead Redemption 2, there are over 500,000 unique animations created for the game. In an era where annual franchises dominate like the yearly FIFA, Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed games, Rockstar refused to churn, and they've only really released a handful of titles in the past 2 decades, but every release they make is a monument to those who play games. This commitment to slow, deliberate development gives Rockstar's releases an event status. They're one of the few developers whose absence builds the hype. But how did they get to where they are now? How did this titan of the gaming world come to be? In 1998, 4 men, Sam Houser, Dan Houser, Jamie King, and Terry Donovan, founded Rockstar Games as a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive. But their ambitions went far beyond being just another developer. They wanted to make interactive cinema, games that felt alive, dangerous, and rebellious. Before Rockstar Games became a global icon, it began in the shadows of another company, DMA Design, a Scottish studio best known for a quirky puzzle game called Lemmings. But everything changed when DMA, under a publishing deal with BMG Interactive, released Grand Theft Auto in 1997. This was a crude, top-down crime simulator, and it gained attention for its open-ended gameplay, but also for its violent themes. Sam and Dan Houser, who were 2 music industry veterans turned producers, saw this potential not just as a game, but as a medium for storytelling, satire, and style. And soon, more titles followed, with Grand Theft Auto 2 and Grand Theft Auto London. In 1998, Take-Two Interactive acquired BMG Interactive and Houser's, and alongside Terry Donovan and Jamie King, they formed Rockstar Games, which was headquartered in New York City, which at the time was a rare move in an industry dominated by Silicon Valley and Japan. What set Rockstar apart was their manifesto. They didn't want to make games, they wanted to make cultural events, and that philosophy would soon reshape the industry, and eventually they got their big break. Grand Theft Auto 3, released in 2001, marked a turning point. Not just for Rockstar, but for gaming history. And to some extent, it wasn't just a game, it was a cultural disruption. For GTA 3, open world games were rudimentary at best. Titles like Driver offered glimpses of sandbox gameplay, but none captured the lawless freedom, biting satire, or explosive player agency that Grand Theft Auto 3 delivered. In Liberty City, you weren't just playing a game, you were let loose in a satirical mirror of America, complete with corrupt politicians, cynical radio hosts, and morally bankrupt institutions. With no set path, players could wreak havoc or simply cruise to Chatterbox FM and listen to fictional talk shows parodying real political discourse. Yet, this new freedom immediately drew fire. GTA 3 came out just weeks after 9/11, when America was still reeling from a tragedy, and for many, this game emerged as a form of escapism, albeit a violent and unapologetic one. The timing of the release, though, in the context that the game was set in the place where the attacks took place, however, only intensified scrutiny. Conservative pundits and parents groups decried the game as a murder simulator, with media critics calling for national boycott and Rockstar being accused of creating a training exercise for sociopaths. Yet, the controversy didn't kill GTA. Sales skyrocketed, and Rockstar found the recipe for success and responded with deadpan irony, crafting box art that parodied film posters and adding even more controversial content in their sequels. Grand Theft Auto Vice City leaned into the glamour of the 1980s and set in a soaked vision of Miami Vice-inspired crime. Its depictions of Haitian and Cuban gangs prompted legal threats from anti-defamation groups, leading Rockstar to patch out certain lines and issue public clarifications. And then we got the big one. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, a West Coast odyssey set through the lens of gang culture, surveillance, state paranoia, and systemic injustice. It featured characters inspired by Boys in the Hood and Rodney King-era LAPD brutality. San Andreas went on to become the best-selling PlayStation 2 game of all time, with over 17 million copies sold. While critics accused Rockstar of glorifying violence, others praised the studio for pulling gaming into a more socio-political conversations. In a world dominated by Space Marines and Italian plumbers, Rockstar brought in race, class, media, and institutional rot. Cultural critic Dr. Kishore McGray said that San Andreas was not just a game, but an interactive sociology textbook wrapped in gangster rap aesthetics. By the mid-2000s, Rockstar had become the most infamous and most influential studio in the world. But this continued fame met continued scrutiny, and Rockstar was becoming a magnet for it. In 2005, hidden deep within San Andreas was a disabled, adult-themed minigame dubbed the Hot Coffee Mud. When uncovered by modders, it ignited a political firestorm. The game was re-rated as adults only, and Rockstar denied responsibility for this. However, the damage was done. US lawmakers, including Senator Hillary Clinton, called for legislation to regulate violent video games. Rockstar was faced with lawsuits, fines, and a public relations nightmare. Yet, all press was good press for them, and sales of San Andreas surged again and again after every single scandal. Rockstar leaned into this controversy, and profit followed. This era for Rockstar established a pattern, push the boundaries, incite backlash, and dominate the headlines, and for them, it worked. We then saw what was a somewhat relatively rapid release of games. In 2008, Grand Theft Auto 4 was released, which presented a darker and more grounded narrative set in Liberty City. It earned a near-perfect score and helped solidify Rockstar's reputation for storytelling and immersive design. However, others gave it criticism for deviating from the success and enjoyment that many felt playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Although Grand Theft Auto 4 was grounded, Rockstar though did continue to push boundaries in making edgy games and advancements in video game technology. Bully saw you play as a school bully, which sparked media outrage to the point where the game was released in countries under a different title. Like here in the United Kingdom, the game was called Canis Canem Edit. Yet, despite this, the game earned praise for its humour and clever design. A notable shout-out needs to be given to L.A. Noire, an often forgotten title of Rockstar, which was released in 2011 and deviated sharply from its usual crime-ridden satire. The game was set in 1940s Los Angeles, and it followed Detective Colt Phelps as he rose through the LAPD ranks. But what set L.A. Noire apart was its facial capture system called Motion Scan. 32 cameras were recording actors simultaneously, and the motion scan allowed Rockstar to capture incredible lifelike facial expressions, which was crucial as it was needed so players could read the subtle emotional cues during interrogation to determine if suspects were lying. It was revolutionary and remains one of the most technically ambitious facial animation systems ever implemented. Despite production troubles, L.A. Noire stands as a testament to Rockstar's pursuit of innovation. 2010 saw Rockstar take a detour from city skylines to desert sunsets. Staying true to their origins and continuing from the success of Grand Theft Auto 4 and wanting to make interactive cinema, Red Dead Redemption transported players to the dying days of the American West through the eyes of John Marston, an outlaw turned government pawn. It was slow, poignant and stunning. Critics hailed it as Rockstar's most mature work to date. Then, in 2018, they went even further with their masterpiece Red Dead Redemption 2, which became a landmark achievement, cinematic, emotional, and terrifyingly detailed. It featured one of the most detailed open worlds ever created, from realistic mud physics to dynamic wildlife ecosystems. It is hailed as one of the greatest games of all time, with many saying the game made them cry, such was the raw emotion felt from the story. But perfection came at a price. Just weeks before release, co-founder Dan Houser casually mentioned employees were working over 100 hours a week. This quote caused an uproar and sparked a world of discourse about crunch culture across the gaming industry. Former employees described harsh deadlines, burnout, and little time for family life. Yet, despite this, Rockstar claimed the quote was misinterpreted. Still though, Red Dead Redemption 2 for Rockstar was a triumph, with over 61 million copies being sold as of 2024. If Red Dead was Rockstar's soul, then Grand Theft Auto 5 was its bank account. Released in 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 quickly became a phenomenon. Featuring 3 playable protagonists, heists, and an explosive Los Santos city, it captivated players worldwide. But it was Grand Theft Auto Online, which was launched weeks after, that would turn Rockstar into a financial juggernaut. With microtransactions for in-game currency, Grand Theft Auto Online became a live service before it was fashionable. Take-Two CEO confirmed that the game generated over $8 billion in revenue by 2023, making it more profitable than any film or game ever released. Players, however, expressed frustration over aggressive monetization, a lack of single-player downloadable content, and frequent online bugs. For many, Rockstar were choosing money over narrative, and while it worked financially, it raised questions about their creative priorities, and this was fueled further by changes behind the scenes and the structure that made up Rockstar Games and their leadership. The Rockstar of the 2010s wasn't the same as the rebellious crew from the early 2000s. In 2016, lead producer Leslie Benzies left after a sabbatical, and later filed a lawsuit seeking $150 million in unpaid royalties. This case revealed tension between the top brass and Rockstar North, and eventually was settled out of court. Then in 2020, co-founder and creative head Dan Houser left Rockstar Games, an event which shook the gaming world, and industry insiders suggested that there was internal conflict and burnout. Many feared that Rockstar would lose its edge with one of the people who was there at the start and saw its success leave the company. However, employee testimonials indicate something different, suggesting that there is an improved work conditions, improved flexible hours, and a push towards a more sustainable development, suggesting that Rockstar may have learned from the criticism received during the production of Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5. And the criticism that Rockstar were now focused on churning out money from Grand Theft Auto Online isn't exactly without its due. There's been absolute silence from the studio ever since Red Dead Redemption 2 was released, not an inkling of Grand Theft Auto 6 being made. Although many speculated it, there was nothing concrete. When you consider that in late 2000, early 2010s, there was a somewhat rapid release of games from Rockstar. For many, this was confirmation. Rockstar were content with making money from Grand Theft Auto Online, especially when new generation consoles came out, and instead of a new Grand Theft Auto, they got a remaster of GTA 5. Yet, in 2022, a teenage hacker leaked early developmental footage. It confirmed what many had hoped. Rockstar was building its most ambitious game yet. Then, in December 2023, the first trailer dropped, featuring a return to Vice City, dual protagonists, and stunning visuals powered by next-generation hardware, and a playable female protagonist for the first time in the franchise's history. When Rockstar announced Grand Theft Auto 6, it wasn't just the next chapter in a franchise, but it became the most anticipated entertainment release of all time. But anticipation does cut both ways, especially in the gaming industry transformed by impatience, ambition, and broken promises. In 2013, GTA 5 launched as a complete package, Story mode, multiplayer, world building, and polish. It was a self-contained blockbuster in an age before battle passes and broken day one builds. Fast forward to the 2020s, the industry looks very different. Cyberpunk 2077 was hyped as a generational leap by CD Projekt Red, only to be launched riddled with bugs, crashes, and a half-finished system. It was pulled from the PlayStation Store within weeks and has been ridiculed online ever since, although to its credit it has improved since its launch. No Man's Sky was promised as an infinite world but delivered a hollow shell at launch. Starfield, when it was released, was anticipated because of the success of previous titles from Bethesda. However, when this came out, people just saw it as a Skyrim with a space makeover and nothing innovating. Even Rockstar themselves fumbled. Their remastered Grand Theft Auto trilogy was released with broken AI, glitched environment, and was widely panned online, eroding some of their reputation for polish and prestige. For many, this was a question: what was Rockstar gonna do for GTA 6? Did Dan Houser leaving the company make it go downhill, and was this evidence of it? Players are now more skeptical than ever. It's common for people to buy games months after a release so it can have patches to bugs in the game which are expected on release day. Rockstar's next game, for many, has to do everything perfectly, and this can be troubling for them too, considering negative reviews tend to get more clicks than positive reviews. We are living in an online world where clickbait is a thing. So far, Rockstar has revealed that Grand Theft Auto 6 will feature Lucia, the series' first female protagonist, and will return to Vice City with modern flair. The leaked footage and official release trailer shows dynamic NPC behaviors, immersive environments, and interactions that feel closer to real life than ever before. But how they handle gender, crime, culture, and humor in 2025 amid changing social norms will define whether GTA 6 is remembered as an evolution or a relic. Rockstar has already dropped hints of a more mature tone, a shift away from the cruel, chaotic humor of the past. Many fans will hope it will be made in similar depths to Red Dead Redemption 2. Critics and fans alike ponder, is it still Rockstar if it's still restrained? This is a criticism that Rockstar has faced before, as we mentioned earlier in this video, with the changing tone from San Andreas to Grand Theft Auto 4. Across its history, Rockstar has used digital worlds to reflect real ones. Whether it's the decaying American dream in Grand Theft Auto 4, the commodified chaos of GTA 5, or the slow death of the frontier in Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar games aren't escapism, they're commentary. Brutal, satirical, sometimes uncomfortable, but always deliberate. These aren't just games about crime, they're games about systems, capitalism, law enforcement, morality, celebrity, surveillance, and decay. Through parody and realism, Rockstar forces players to confront the absurdity, cruelty, and complexity of the world we live in. Their stories have sparked protests, lawsuits, and political hearings, but they've also started conversations about violence, censorship, justice, and the power of narrative. In an industry often focused on fantasy, Rockstar remains grounded in reality, even if that reality is messy. This was not your average history video to make or research, or even watch if you even hear at the end, but I did enjoy making it. That's what I'm doing. I'm just making YouTube videos on history stuff I find interesting, and this is history, it's games, and I put the two together, so I hope you liked it just as much as I did making it. If you could give it a like and subscribe, that would make me very happy and stop me from crying at night. But that's all from me now, and I hope to see you around later. Bye!